Come on into the room, come on in. This was Fred Harvey's first trackside hotel. Prior to this building, Fred Harvey was doing food and beverage right to the train. Worked out that business model where you had a waiting room. There was waiting room for the dining rooms, and there were two dining rooms, right? There was a lunch room for informal dining, which is where you're going to go next, and there was a formal dining room, which is where you're going to go after that, and talk to Matt, who's going to talk to you about the dining room and the food here. And then there were 37 guest rooms upstairs, but the bathrooms were down the halls. So this was an experiment. In fact, the original plans said division offices and hotel for the Santa Fe Railway, because they didn't know it. The whole north wing was just offices. There was no way to get from this part of the building into the north wing, because in between was the kitchens. Right, so this was a big experiment for Fred Harvey, and it was so successful that a few years later, they built an office building, converted the north wing to guest rooms, and after that, they essentially took this building and modeled it up just a little bit and made the Alvarado in Albuquerque. So everybody mourns the loss of the Alvarado, right? And that was the start of the preservation movement in New Mexico in 1970. But this is the Alvarado, right? Just a little bit smaller. The dining room here is 110, the dining room there was 125, right? So it's still here, but it's here in Las Vegas, the town that everyone forgot about. This is the greatest architectural treasure trove in the Southwest. Almost 1,000 buildings in Las Vegas on the National Register of Historic Places. These were still in the kitchen.
So what would these do?
These are steam tables, so you'd have steam coming up and
Keep the food.
keep the food warm, right? So there's an original steam table.
Most people don't know what a steam table is.
This is an original pot rack.
So this is a very important building in that this is kind of the beginnings. And unfortunately, one of our greatest losses, the Alvarado, is you know, the peak. It's considered the Penn Central of the West is lost to us. Now, we have a great respect for the history, but at the same time, there are things that have changed. And one of the things is what used to be more of a sealed up bar, and the bar wasn't exactly like that when the building opened. It kind of evolved over time. We've opened it up and allowed a lot more light in there. Matter of fact, we found that wonderful mural that's above the hood there, and we are preserving that. But what used to be the pool hall is now huge ADA bathrooms.
Space, for me as a restaurant operator, was absolutely incredible because it had all the original Fred Harvey equipment in it. And it was just like it was in the 40s when it was left and closed down. And that was a really special thing. So right here was the original exhaust hood. Underneath it was that massive oven that's right back there in the corner. Out in the dining room, that big stainless steel thing was a steam-generated plate warmer that was located right here. And the pot rack was right above it, that torture device-looking thing with all the hooks on it, you know, nasty-looking thing. But all that stuff was still in this building, and it was like literally walking out of a time warp. So it was really special for me to see how it was originally laid out. There were people that came here at first with Alan and said, oh yeah, we can reuse that stove. You're out of your mind if you think you're going to use a coal-fired oven in a modern-day kitchen.
So I had to just go into every room and see what it felt like. So in this one I'll have a bee, and this is the bee room, this will be the fox room. So everyone will have a glass transom of an animal.